Good morning, class. Today we're working on Unit 2, Lesson 5, Remembering, and we are reviewing comparing fractions with our greater than, less than, or equal to, and comparing decimals, as well as adding and subtracting decimals. You can go ahead and start by going down and drawing a line through number 19. Stretch your thinking, because we're not going to be doing that today. When we review comparing fractions, we'll go ahead and look at number 1. When we're comparing fractions, here we have 3/7, and we are comparing that to 3/8. And you can notice here that the numerator in both of these is the same. And so when the numerator, the top number, is the same in two fractions when you're comparing, you need to figure out which fraction has the smaller denominator, and that is going to be your larger fraction. And so number 1, 3/7 is greater than 3/8. Number 2 has the same numerator as well, and then when you look at number 3, it has the same denominator. But we'll go ahead and look at number 4. In number 4, we're comparing 4/8 to 5/6. And remember, there's different ways you can do this. You could work with them both and get them both to have the same denominator, and if you were looking for a common denominator, you could multiply them both to equal 24, because 6 and 8 both multiply into 24. Remember, whatever you do to the top, you have to do to the bottom. So 6 times 4 will get you to 24, and 5 times 4 is equal to 20. And in order to get 8 to be 24, you're going to multiply that 8 by 3, and remember top and bottom, and that's going to become 4 times 3 is equal to 12, and 3 times 8 is equal to 24. So then what you're comparing is 12 24ths, and you're comparing it to 20 24ths. And so you can see that 20 24ths is larger, so 5/6 is larger than 4/8. Now, another way to do it, and a lot of you like to do it this way, let's do number 5 together. I'll do number 5 with you, and this is the cross multiply method, and that's just one more way you can do it. Remember, you find what works best for you, but in number 5, we're comparing 5/6, and we're comparing it to 3/4. And the cross multiply method, all I do is cross multiply literally. 6 times 3 is equal to 18, and then I cross multiply the other way. 4 times 5 is equal to 20, and so I can see that 20 is larger, so 5/6 is greater than 3/4, because 20 is bigger than 18. And that's how you can use the cross multiply method. Again, find what works best for you. We're going to go ahead, you can work on 2, 3, and 6 on your own. We're going to move down and look at numbers 7 through 12. And here you're comparing decimals. And I like to write them above each other if I don't know right off of the top of my head. But you're going to look first at the decimal, and we can look at number 7. And we're going to put the decimal in, and you have 0.17. And you also, on the next one, you're comparing it to 0.28. And so when you're looking at 17/100ths or 28/100ths, what you're going to do is you're going to look at the first spot where they both have a number other than 0, and here that's in the tenths place. And you have 1/10 or 2/10, and you can see that 2/10 is larger than 1/10, so that means that 28/100ths is larger. Another way to think about it is just looking at it like a table, 1/7 or 17/100ths and 28/100ths. Again, looking at that first column there and figuring out which one's bigger, and then that's the larger. Let's go ahead and look at one where we have the same number. If you look at number 12, it says 0.05, and you're comparing it to 0.5, or 5/100ths to 5/10. And again, if you line those up, if you line them up above each other, you have 5/100ths, and you're comparing it to 5/10. And when you compare those, if you just do that column right there, which one's bigger, the first place you have two numbers, and 5 is obviously larger than 0, so 5/10 is bigger than 5/100ths. When you're looking at adding and subtracting decimals, the biggest rule always is that the decimal has to line up. And we'll go ahead and complete number 13 together. And there we have 8/10 or 0.8. And to that we're adding 7/100, 0.07. Okay, so everything has to line up. So this decimal has to be in line. And I always just bring my decimal right down. Okay, so 7 plus nothing is equal to 7. 8 plus nothing is equal to 8, and 0 plus 0 is equal to 0. So you have 0.87 or 87/100 for your answer for number 13. Number 14 through 18, it's the same kind of thing. You have some subtraction, some addition. We're going to go ahead and look at number 15 together because you have to do a little bit of borrowing. For number 15, we have 2 6/10 minus 7/10. And we cannot subtract 7 from 6, so we have to borrow. The 2 becomes a 1, and the 6 becomes a 16. And I will go ahead and bring down my decimal. And now I have 16 minus 7 is equal to 9, and 1 minus nothing is equal to 1. So our answer is 1 9/10 or 1.9, 1 9/10. I would like you now to go ahead and complete the rest of the page on your own, and when you are finished, please take a picture of your work, attach it to the assignment, and upload it and turn it in on Teams. Thank you.